This demo will provide an overview of OpenLMIS with a focus on the requisition and fulfillment workflows. To access OpenLMIS, type the web address into an internet browser such as Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. Once you're at the login screen, you'll enter your username and password. Once you've entered the username and password, click Sign In. That will bring you to the home screen. From the home screen, you'll have a number of options on the navigation bar at the top of the screen, and what options you'll see, as well as what options are in the submenus for those items, will be dependent on your user permissions. So you'll only see the things that you actually need to have access to perform your tasks in OpenLMIS. You also have the ability to set your preferred language, which the system will remember next time you sign in. And you can also log out of the system by clicking that log out button. So we'll start with completing a physical inventory. I'll click on the stock management item on the navigation bar and select physical inventory. This brings up the physical inventory page where I can start my physical inventory for the COVID program. Once I am at the physical inventory screen, I'll get a list of all of the products that I have at my facility with the stock on hand so that I can record the results of my physical inventory to ensure that all of the data in my system is accurate. So as I do the physical count, I'll record the results of the count in the system to ensure that all of the data is up to date. And if there's any discrepancies, I can specify what the discrepancy is by adding a reason. Once I complete the physical inventory, I can submit that by clicking Submit. And then I'll be asked to specify the date of the physical inventory and provide a signature. Once I have recorded that information, I can click Confirm. And I'll have the option to print it, but I don't want to do that at this point, so I'll say no. Once the physical inventory is complete and I've submitted it, I'll be brought to my stock on hand screen where I can view the inventory of my facility. So now that I've completed the physical inventory, if it's the end of the reporting period, I need to complete my report and requisition. I'll go to the Requisitions menu and select Create and Authorize. So from this Initiate Report and Requisition screen, I can select my facility or supervised facilities if I have access to other facilities, as well as the program and type. Since I'm doing just a routine requisition, I'll do that and I'm doing that for my facility. I'll leave everything as is and click Search. And that will give me a list of the reporting periods that are available in the system. And the first one that's available, I'll be able to start working on. So I can click Proceed. And that will actually bring me to the requisition screen. So on the requisition screen, I have a list of all of my products. And this requisition is set up as a stock-enabled requisition. So because I'm doing those stock management functions, like the physical inventory that we just saw in the system, all of the data from my inventory gets pulled automatically into my requisition. So I just have to review the information, and the system will provide a calculated order quantity based on the total consumption and my stock on hand. So you can see in this period, because there wasn't any consumption, the calculated order quantity is 0. But if I wanted to override that calculated order quantity at any point, I can add a requested quantity. So if I wanted to include any of these products in my order, or order a different amount than the calculated amount, I can add that requested quantity and then provide an explanation. Once I've finished reviewing all of the data in my requisition and updating any requested quantities, if I wanted to change from the calculated order quantity, I can complete my requisition by clicking Submit and Authorize. And the system will ask me to confirm that I'm ready to submit, since once I've submitted, I can't make any further edits at that point. So click Submit. And I'll get that notification that my requisition was submitted. And you'll see that that period is no longer available for me to fill out. Once the requisition has been submitted, the next step in that process is for it to be approved. So we'll go to the requisitions menu again, and this time click Approve. So on the Approve Requisition screen, typically this is accessed by someone at a district level or a higher level than the facility, who is reviewing the requisitions that are being submitted and has to approve them before they can become orders. So in my approval queue, I can see the requisition that was just submitted in my queue waiting for approval. And to do that approval, I can click View Requisition. And that will bring up the requisition for me to review. And so in the approval screen, you'll see I can review all of the data, I can see everything that was entered, but I can't actually change that requested quantity. If I don't agree with that requested quantity, however, I can change the approved quantity, which is the final amount that will actually go on the order. So if I think 1,000 is too much, I can change that to 500. Or if I think they should order an additional amount of something else, I can also increase that approved quantity and add any additional remarks. Once I'm satisfied with that requisition, I can click Approve. And again, I'll be asked just to confirm that that's the action I want to take, since once I approve it, I can't make any further changes. And I'll click Approve to confirm. And once that requisition is approved, you'll see it doesn't show up any longer in my approval queue. And in that case, we just approved an individual requisition, but I could also approve them as a batch. We'll talk about that later in the training. So now that that requisition is approved, it actually becomes an order. And someone at the warehouse or the supply depot that order is sent to can actually fill that order using OpenLMIS as well. So I'll now log out of my facility admin user, and I'm going to log in as a warehouse manager. And so now that I'm logged in as my warehouse manager, you'll see I have some similar items up at the top here, but I might have limited options based on what my specific responsibilities are. So to fulfill an order, go to the Orders tab and select Fulfill Orders. And so as the warehouse manager, I'll have all of the orders here on the Fulfill Order screen that have been sent to my warehouse for fulfillment. And if I am looking for something specific, I can filter this list to make it easier to find the specific order that I'm looking for. So now you can see we have the order that was generated based on the requisition that we just submitted and then approved. So from here, I can click Start Fulfillment, and that will actually allow me to fill that order. So I have a list of all of the products that were included on the order and the order quantity for each of those products. And so that's the same again as the approved quantity that we entered when we did the approval. So for each of those products, I can enter the fill quantity, so what I'm going to actually send the facility, and I can base that on what I have available at the warehouse, which I can see by the available stock on hand. So for this particular product, 500 were ordered, but I only have 22 in stock. So maybe I'm not going to fill that particular product, or maybe I'll only send them 10. For the exam gloves, there were 400 ordered, and I have plenty of those on hand so that I can fill the full amount. And you can see as I enter the fill quantity, based on my stock on hand, I have this remaining stock on hand that also automatically updates to tell me how much I'll have left once I have filled this order. Once I've completed filling the order, I can click Confirm Shipment. And again, the system will just ask me to confirm that I'm sure I want to take that action, since I won't be able to make further changes after I do. So I'll confirm the shipment. And then we'll see that that order no longer appears in my Fulfill Orders queue, since I've already completed that. So once that order actually gets shipped, which happens outside of OpenLMIS, when it arrives at the facility will be able to receive the shipment and complete the proof of delivery. So I'll log out of my warehouse manager user and log back in as my facility admin. So that we can actually receive the order and complete the proof of delivery. So in order to complete that proof of delivery, I'll go to the Orders tab and select Manage Proof of Delivery. And on that Manage Proof of Delivery screen, I can again limit the list that I'm seeing, depending on what I want to view on this order screen. And then I'll find on the list the shipment. So we have here the shipment from the order that we just filled. And when that shipment actually arrives at the facility, I can come into the system and click Manage. And that will bring me to the proof of delivery, where I can note the quantity I'm receiving or accepting from the quantity that was shipped. So I'm accepting all 10, or if for some reason there was an issue with any of the products, maybe some got damaged, I can specify that I'm not accepting the whole shipment, and then I can select the reason I'm not accepting whatever the quantity is that's being returned or rejected. Once I've finished noting all of the quantities that I've received, I can complete the final pieces of information: who delivered the order, who it was received by, and when it was received. Once that's complete, I'll click Confirm. Confirm again that I am ready to complete the proof of delivery. And now I'll see that that order is received. When I receive that order, the system automatically enters that into my inventory. So if I go back to my stock management menu and go to the stock on hand screen and look up the inventory for my facility, I can look at the products that were just included in the shipment that I received. And if I view the stock card, I'll be able to see that amount that I was just received from the shipment. So the 350 that I just received on that, by completing that proof of delivery, show up on my inventory. So I don't have to go into stock management and do the receive process a second time. The system does it automatically once I update the POD. So that is a brief overview of the requisition and fulfillment processes in OpenLMIS. And in the subsequent training sessions, you'll go into each of these processes and some additional processes in more detail.